Hi, my name is Chris and this is Battle Nonsense. Every one of us has been in situations where you wonder how that guy could have known that you were coming. Sometimes it was the commander's UAV that revealed your position. But there are also a few things about the spotting mechanic that many players are not aware of. And that is what we will have a look at in this video. So in front of me we have an enemy. And when I now take one more step towards him, then this will trigger the 3D spotting triangle. And when I now change my view to look at him, then I will also see his name tag and the health bar. In addition to that, we also get the triangle on the minimap for this player. And all of that without pressing any key on my keyboard or button on my gamepad. I just had to get close enough and look at him. But this 3D triangle that I can see on my HUD here is only visible for me. No one else in my team can see it. Only the icon on the minimap is showing up for everyone. So if I want that my teammates can also see the 3D triangle, then I actually have to spot this player manually. Now what will happen when I'm not looking at him and he is firing his weapon without using a suppressor? Then this will trigger the 2D spotting, which means that he will show up on the minimap for my entire team. But he will not only show up there, we will also be able to track his movement and where he's looking at in real time. This system is called audio spotting. If he is using a suppressor, then he will not show up on the minimap anymore when he's firing his weapon. Now, we could debate if he should show up on the minimap at all when he is using his gun without a suppressor. I would argue that the point of the suppressor is to get rid of the noise of the weapon, and that noise is how I identify if an enemy is nearby. I don't need some 2D icon on the minimap that shows up and lets me track the enemy in real time, because I have ears for that. And in my opinion, players should be aware of what is going on around them, and this includes listening to the sounds around them. But that change would be too big for Battlefield 4, at least for the normal mode. I can imagine that it could be done in the classic mode, but for normal I want to suggest something else, and that is to get rid of the real-time tracking of the player. This means that if a player fires a weapon without a suppressor, then this will only trigger a ping on the minimap that flashes up at the location the player was at when he fired. So no more real-time tracking. I would also limit the distance inside which this system is active so that it does not work across the map. In my opinion, this would be a good compromise for the normal mode. So as I showed you before, you can get the 3D triangle by just looking at an enemy player when you are close enough. But to provide all your team members with that triangle, you actually have to press Q on your keyboard, R2 on the PlayStation controller or RB on the Xbox controller to spot the enemy. The problem we have here is that you can easily exploit the active spotting function to reveal or find enemy players that are relatively well hidden. All you need to do is to constantly press the spotting button. The reason why you can find players that way is because spotting works like a cone, inside which it can see enemy players. Diceley has planned to do a rework to change this area to be more like a diamond. This means that over longer distances you need to be much more accurate to be able to spot enemy players, and so you cannot exploit it anymore. At least that's the theory, which we can hopefully test soon in the CTE. Now there's one more thing that I want to show you. About 130 meters away there is an enemy. When he now walks out of his cover, then he suddenly shows up on the minimap. This means that the 2D or minimap spotting just became active. Again, I didn't do anything here. He simply walked into my crosshair. I was aware that this is possible at close range, but as one of my viewers told me recently, this also works at much longer distances. And I really do not have to be accurate at all. The area inside which that automatic spotting is working is really big, as you can see here. Now let's try this again at a much longer distance, and for that we also need to bring up the large map. So now the enemy player will start to walk into my crosshair, and bam, he got 2D spotted over a distance of 200 meters. This means that all of my team members who are close to him have him now on their minimap. So even if that enemy tried to be stealthy and sneak up on a teammate, then just by walking through my crosshair, which is 200 meters away, he revealed his position to my entire team. So if one of my team members would now turn around and shoot him, then he would surely wonder how that could happen. So in my opinion, this mechanic should just be completely removed, because of how easily you can constantly spot the enemy players without actively doing anything, or even noticing that you just spotted someone who is 200 meters away. Let me know what you think about this in the comments or the Reddit topic that I linked to in the description. By the way, if you have seen the video about audio occlusion and how it could improve Battlefield, then I have very good news for you. Because JJJU, a developer at Dice, wrote the following on Twitter. We've already had some internal thing about such stuff for some time. I think we will make you happy soon. If that means that footsteps, voiceovers, gunfire and the other sounds will no longer go straight through walls and ceilings in Battlefield 4, then this will make me incredibly happy, Julian. Hopefully we will see this soon in the CTE. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a nice day and take care. My name is Chris and this was Battle Nonsense.